Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network, joined by myself, Adham, Beydoun, and Jeff Iafrate. Jeff, good morning, buddy.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I know yesterday was interesting. A lot of guys getting cut. Hard Knocks is today.
100% Hard Knocks.
Just kind of sifting through all the guys, Adam.
A little disappointed in you.
Why?
You know why.
Something on your head, I assume.
Good job, Fish.
Dude.
Bad hair day?
Listen, I woke up.
It's all good.
I woke up this morning. Got here at 7 o'clock. I wanted to record with Brandon, but a lot of people's power is out, and Brandon's power is out as well, so he couldn't make it. So I was kind of just hanging with Fish for the last hour. But yeah, too early. I didn't do my hair.
It's all good.
Slapped on a hat today, boys.
Jeez.
It is all good. We got a jam-packed show today.
Excuse.
The Lions announced roster cuts.
Yep.
What they're going to do at the backup quarterback position. David Blau sitting pretty right now. You have early season expectations. Aidan Hutchinson. Of course, Hard Knocks. Flannel Sam joins us second hour.
Legend
the Michigan
killer.
quarterback situation. I'm always interested to hear what he says.
Always.
And then, of course, Sean Murphy joining us at around 9:40 for some Pistons talk. As always, let's get the show started. Jeff? Jarrad Davis. Oh, shit! All right, look.
You knew it!
There are a few things in my life
Yeah.
that have happened. You know, I've gotten married.
Congratulations.
You know, there's not many other good things that have happened.
Wow.
This is definitely up there. Jarrad Davis getting cut. I mean, guys, you watch Netflix.
I do.
Fish, Amazon Prime. What's your subscription right now?
I mean, I
Are
watched.
you a Netflix guy? Amazon Prime? What
I'm
is
not
it
really
for?
a movie
Hulu.
person, but
Fish. Regardless, I'm sure you all have a streaming service at your house.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you're all aware that these streaming service companies
yeah. Boop, up.
all work very hard on getting original content. Notably, more recently, I'm sure you all have watched the Manti Te'o documentary.
Oh, yeah.
Very fascinating. Very good guy, by the way.
Yeah, I liked it.
Outstanding. Well done. The next great masterpiece is about to drop on Netflix, coming near you, all of you people at home. Jarrad Davis, first-round draft pick for the Detroit Lions. And by the end of his tenure in Detroit, he is the worst linebacker on the roster. And not only that, it gets better. He goes on this long journey of recovery. Goes to New York. Few years away from his city.
You could call it recovery.
The team that drafted him. And he returns home. Signs a deal with the Lions.
And he's still ass.
And he comes back, dude, and he's like, you know what? I'm here to reclaim my throne as the worst linebacker on this team. And goddamn did he do it. Goodbye!
Got his job taken by a
See you
six-round pick.
later.
Listen, you know, I get Jelani Tavai getting cut last offseason was great.
That was a great
before the
one,
season,
yeah.
that was a big thing for
Legendary
me.
moment.
So I've had some good personal moments in my life from the Detroit Lions.
Are you going to drive Jarrad Davis to the airport? Because you offered Jelani Tavai that same, you kind of offered him a ride. So I feel like you got to give Jarrad Davis a ride down to DT.
I'm respecting Jarrad Davis out of the door more than I did Jelani Tavai. Right, the New England ties, the Patricia ties, just pissed me off.
Yeah.
I'm bringing Jarrad Davis back. Right, he was with this coaching staff. He tried out. He just wasn't good enough. But again, I'm very impressed. I mean, you have to, Jeff. You're talking the next 30 for 30 here. You're talking the next almost similar to The Last Shot, The Captain. These kind of documentaries. We're going to remember Jarrad Davis and his story. And you know what the title of that film is going to be called?
I can't imagine.
Reclaiming the Throne. Starring Jarrad Davis. Former first-round draft pick. Disappointment in Detroit. Leaves Detroit as the worst linebacker they've had in 15 years. Comes back to Detroit. Everybody's excited. And he doesn't make the team. Because he's one of the worst linebackers on the team.
Sound like Batman.
Coming soon to a theater near you.
This is the problem I have, Adam. Ian Rappaport tweeted and said, a bit of a surprise. He put in the tweet, a bit of a surprise in regards to the cutting of Jarrad Davis. That's how you know Ian Rappaport does not watch any film of Jarrad Davis. Because us Lions fans, That ain't a surprise, I'll tell you that.
It's not a surprise to Lions fans. It's not a surprise, excuse me, to people in this town. Mm-hmm. He's a bum. I'm sorry. And when they announced him coming back, I get it. You're just working him out. No problem. No commitment. Wanted to vomit. A guy that also got cut, which has drawn a little bit of controversy over social media, right? Fan favorite, I would say. Tom Kennedy. Tom Kennedy cut yesterday. Jeff, your thoughts?
This one, I'm not surprised. When I went on Big D Energy, I filled in last week for D-Mac. I talked with Sam about it. We pretty much mutually agreed. Sam kind of was a little more harsher than me. But this wide receiver room is too deep. I mean, I'm not surprised Pimpleton and Kennedy were cut, although they're both, I think, will land on a roster. I think both of those guys deserve to play in the NFL. I just think with this team right now, you might have thought with Jameson Williams being on the PUP list that one of these guys gets an opportunity. I would assume it was Kennedy, but nope, they're both cut. And guess who's on the roster still, Adam? Your favorite guy, Quintez Cephas.
And there's one more.
Trinity Benson. Your other favorite.
Which is interesting. Look, but that didn't surprise me.
No.
David Blau, Tim Boyle, right? They've been battling it out all preseason.
Yeah.
And I would say Blau had some good moments, some bad ones, along with Boyle. They both struggled and had some pretty good moments.
Yeah.
And then time comes, you get the starters in the first half. It's time to prove that you are the backup quarterback of the Detroit Lions. And Tim Boyle, you got benched. And from that moment, you were always going to get cut. And David Blau, I think, has done enough to probably stay on the roster. I don't think he's the backup. And I know everybody here is making a fuss about, well, the Detroit Lions should have drafted a quarterback, and they will play the backup. All right, calm down, my friends. All right, you don't need a backup quarterback. That's not important.
Right.
No need to waste. I would rather have Kirby Joseph, who's probably going to give you 70-80% snap count this year on defense.
Yeah.
Than a backup quarterback who won't play at all, and even if he does plays, he probably is going to suck. Would I rather have the 14th best quarterback coming out? I'm exaggerating now. Or a guy who actually, according to PFF, had the highest pass coverage grade of any safety in Kirby Joseph. Mm-hmm. Would I rather have another defensive end to get after the quarterback,
which
or
we
take
need,
and reach on a quarterback in the second round? When this team is not built or ready for a quarterback. See, that's the thing that bothers me. If you want a quarterback, I don't mind. Mm-hmm. I can respect it. Hell, if you want to take the approach, we're going to draft a quarterback every other year, hell, every year, until we get it right, good for you. But what situation is your quarterback coming into?
We're the only fan base, I feel like, that worries about a backup quarterback.
That's a whole different problem.
Because of the fact that look at LA, Cincinnati, I can go on, even Denver. These guys, or these fan bases, aren't concerned about their backup because they're concerned about their starter. Us in Detroit, it's almost like a reason to try and get rid of Jared Goff if we have a Malik Willis. I can already see it. Through the regular season, Jared has a bad game. You go on Twitter, get Jared, it's Malik Willis's time now. You know, whoever our backup is. It shouldn't concern you because regardless if Jared goes down, the season's over. And if he's playing, then you're winning 7 to 9 games. This isn't a Super Bowl contending team. The fact that you need a backup, so it's ridiculous, Adam. I just feel like we're really one of the only fan bases that are concerned about a backup for reasons I can't explain. I really can't.
I don't think it's beneficial to this team. And again, close your eyes, Detroit Lions fans. Okay, I know this is a tough one to swallow and do, but goddamn it, you have to do it. Close your eyes and think to April of next year. What does your team look like? In an ideal scenario, right? Your head coach has had a good year. The team has improved. They've won more games, right? The trajectory is continuing to go in an upwards direction. Mm-hmm. And what happens at the end of the season? Jameson Williams shows promise. Aidan Hutchinson, dare I say, Rookie of the Year. Kirby Joseph shows promise. You have second, third year guys that are doing well. Dare I even say Jeff Okudah has a good season. Well, you're going into the next draft with the ability to draft a quarterback who will have the following around him. A top 5 offensive line, a talented backfield, a young up-and-coming wide receiving core, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, going into their second and third year.
Right.
Hutchinson, I'm really not sure what to expect, but damn it, let's just play it out. Oh, and an up-and-coming defense with potential to get to the quarterback. Oh, and a rising star at defensive end in Aidan Hutchinson. You know what? That sounds a lot better, and I would be more comfortable drafting in the first round than, let's say, drafting a third, fourth round quarterback and saying, well, what would if he's Russell Wilson or Dak Prescott's a fourth round pick, and Tom Brady's a sixth round pick, Adam? All right, guys. Play this game all day.
Didn't Denver, like, post Peyton Manning too, just keep reaching for quarterbacks in like the second, late first?
Brock Osweiler,
all these guys.
Peyton, God, what was his name? Paxton Lynch.
Yes, and then eventually they're like, you know what? Let's go trade for Russell Wilson. So
some teams are not good at drafting a quarterback. Okay?
I'm not saying we aren't, but that's the reality of trying to find it.
Brad Holmes has the reality of he needs to figure out the quarterback situation.
Right.
I think, and this goes around a lot of, well, Brad Holmes is committed to Jared Goff, and I don't see that.
It's too early for me
to
say that.
Even if he plays really well this year, he's got 2 years left on his deal. And if he wants to play hardball and say, well, I want a renegotiated contract before the next season, dude, kick rocks. You can pay $30 million a year. We're not interested.
Right.
You don't want to play? We're going to go draft our quarterback. Lions have a lot of leverage here. I'm not too worried about the people who say, if Goff has a good season, Adam, they're going to re-sign him to a 3-5-year deal. Yeehaw! I don't get it. How about everyone takes the chill pill?
Yeah.
How about you chill on the people who are preseason warriors, the people that are doing well, but how about we all just chill? And remember one thing. You have draft capital. You have draft capital. And Brad Holmes has proven to you so far he can maneuver in the draft. Mm-hmm. And he's so far, in my opinion, done an excellent job. Within the first round, we've seen Amon-Ra St. Brown later. The third round pick is nice. What happens in the interior with Levi and Aleem, we'll see. I'm not sitting here this morning getting frustrated over a backup quarterback. I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah. There's bigger fish to fry. And that's making sure this roster can get to the point where we all expect them to be, and that's in the postseason. And there's still a lot of work to do defensively, which they are working on those things. And that's why I get so frustrated. And this isn't adding anybody, but the whole Josh Pascal thing. Well, we haven't seen Josh Pascal. Of course not. The guy's injured. If he plays, and he's a damn good player, and he's a starter for your defense, I'm telling you, unless Malik Willis is Russell Wilson, you're going to be fine. I promise.
All right, you guys ready for this?
I promise.
Wait. Hello? Yeah. Bill Polian's on the line.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. No way. I didn't know that. Thanks, Bill. Bill Polian just called me.
Oh, okay. What'd he say?
Bill said that you can't have two quarterbacks on the field at the same time.
Wait.
What?
You got to relay that message to Jim Harbaugh.
Shocking.
What?
Wait, what?
What? There's one starting quarterback? Oh, whoops. Wait, if your starting quarterback goes down, your season's probably over for most teams.
Ouch.
Oh, I didn't know that. New information here on the Morning Woodward Show.
It's breaking.
Whoa. Wow.
Ding, 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 ding. Breaking news.
Breaking news.
But what about Nick Foles, Adam?
Nick, shut up! How about that? How about Nick Foles?
That's like the one thing. What about Nick Foles?
I can't deal with it.
Oh,
Can't have
I love
it.
it,
Won't
man.
accept it. Won't accept it. Tim Boyle obviously cut for obvious reasons, rightly
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, rightfully so.
Pathetic in the preseason. We'll move on. 8:15 coming up. We got more Lions talk coming up. Roster cuts, maneuvers. Whew. I'm excited. Jam-packed show.
Yes.
Your first Tuesday
Yes.
here on the Morning Woodward Show. We haven't had a guest live on a Tuesday in months.
I
So
can't
this is a
wait.
new thing here. We're excited.
Sam Fisher.
People are very happy to have you back. I'm happy to have you back.
The whole gang.
This is home. You're not going anywhere, bitch.
Wow.
You're stuck with me, bitch. Oh, I can't
All
wait.
right. But before we go, Jeff, could you do everybody at home a big favor and tell them about our good friends over at Big Boy?
Yes, I can, because, guys, listen. If you haven't already, try the Chicken Club from Big Boy. It's delicious. They have a multitude of other options as well. They have the chicken cordon bleu, which I also tried, the sunrise ham and cheddar, all on our, meaning Big Boy's, grilled ciabatta bread. Or keep it light with the Michigan apple, chicken Caesar, or Greek salad. And don't forget, you can cool off with a nice hand-dipped cookies and cream shake or strawberry. Look at Fish, man. He loves the shakes. I'm telling you. You heard it here first. Summer just got better at Big Boy.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
We're back here on the Morning Woodward Show, here on the Woodward Sports Network, 8:16 on a beautiful Tuesday morning. It stormed yesterday, and I'm not going to lie, I kind of wanted it to, even though it was really weird. So I left Birmingham.
Why is it weird?
I take Southfield home. I'm about to tell you why, Fish.
Okay.
Shut the hell up. Maybe you'd figure it out. Leave Birmingham. By the time I just approach 12 Mile, okay, it starts pouring.
Yeah.
Jesus.
All right, fine. No. It's raining. I expected it to rain. No problem.
Okay.
I get on Southfield. Pouring. Once I get past the bridge, I believe it's 96, stops raining all of a sudden. Drive for a few minutes on Southfield. And then there's more rain and it's pouring again. Then I get on Ford Road and it stopped raining. And then I get past Telegraph and it starts pouring again.
Jesus.
And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? I'll never understand Michigan weather. I never will. Jeff, Jimmy G staying put in San Francisco.
Yes.
So I want to focus on the backup quarterback position just for a few minutes. I don't want to kill too much time on it, but this is important to say. You didn't draft your quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. They didn't take one. They didn't find value in drafting a quarterback anywhere in the draft this year. Cool. Jimmy G was never an option for Detroit.
No.
And I'm going to play devil's advocate here because it takes everything in me not to grab a baseball bat and show up at the 2 o'clock show because of conversations like this. But I'm a patient man. Jimmy Garoppolo has no business being anywhere in the NFL outside of San Francisco. They reworked his deal. He's now one of the higher paid quarterbacks, and that is a great deal for San Francisco and Jimmy G. It protects him from going to a bad team, which will allow him to get a better contract in the offseason, because what do you know? Just like head coaches and just like quarterbacks every offseason, every team is going to need one. And
Absolutely.
not every team, but 5, 6, 7 teams are going to have a quarterback and head coach availability problem. That's the reality. So Jimmy G will be taken care of in the offseason. And on the off chance Trey Lance does get hurt, you have a proven 2-time NFC championship appearing quarterback who has done that in 2 of the last 5 years, I believe. I think you are on to something. It was never a case. I don't believe he was ever going anywhere. The only idea that you could ever convince me of was Cleveland offering a 2nd-round pick. But even then, by the time the dynamic doesn't work, the cap doesn't work, there's too many problems.
Yeah.
Go to Carolina. No, why would he go to Carolina?
They just traded for Baker.
Matt Rule's on the hot seat.
Yeah.
And even before they traded for Baker, Matt Rule was on the hot seat. Not needed. The Giants are trying to figure out what they have in Daniel Jones.
Right.
And they're not interested in taking on a guy who's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. It doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. And I think it's the right move. I think San Francisco, you want to talk about one of the better moves of the offseason? And them keeping Jimmy G for a reworked contract, and he can walk at the end of the year? Talk about a win-win.
Oh, absolutely. And on top of that, you get to still stay in San Francisco to mentor Trey Lance. And it's the right decision for Jimmy G. I agree with you. The only destination, really, that's been reported is Seattle. But Seattle's in the division, so they're not going to trade Jimmy G to Seattle. I'm happy he's on the roster, so people like Maz and whoever else that was saying Jimmy G could be a backup for Jared Goff, that's not going to happen. Nor it should, because like I said earlier, imagine if Jimmy G was on this roster. And imagine if in the middle of the regular season, Jared Goff starts struggling. You don't think this fan base is going to be clamoring for Jimmy G to start? I mean, that's the reality of it. So, I'm happy. It is the right decision. He gets to hit the open market next year, like you just alluded to. Every team is going to need a quarterback, or some teams, especially. I mean, look at Philly. What if Jalen Hurts doesn't work out? What if New York with the Giants, they find out, listen, Daniel Jones isn't our guy. They can't draft a quarterback. They can go after Jimmy G. So it makes sense for him financially, and he gets to stay in San Fran. I mean, you don't know Trey Lance this year. He gets to start, but if something happens, he's injured, you have Jimmy G there, a guy who's been to a Super Bowl with that team, and Kyle Shanahan trusts him. So it makes perfect sense for him. I'm just glad this quieted down all the people, because this Jimmy G talk has been going on for a while. Even before this, people were talking about early on in the offseason saying, go trade for Jimmy G. It's absolutely ridiculous. But to be honest with you, Adam, we do love Jimmy G. That is one of our guys. We
Hell
talked
of a
about him
quarterback.
lot. He's
Pretty damn hot, too.
And, he's a good-looking guy, too.
Ben in the chat says, genuinely curious, what 5 head coaching vacancies do you see? I can't even put together 3. Well, we'll start with Carolina, Matt Rule. To be honest with you, I don't think Lovie Smith is going to last.
No.
Even if it's just for 1 year. It's not going to happen.
I agree with you.
I think the next person that'll probably be out of town when Tom Brady also retires is Todd Bowles. I think he'll be a, quote, scapegoat at the end of the year. Robert Saleh, if he doesn't have a good season, he's going to be gone. Ron Rivera, probably gone.
You think
Nick Sirianni has a bad season, they regress, he's gone. I see a lot of situations here where these coaches, you want to talk about coaches who could be gone at the end of the year? If they fail, 100%, and that's already 6. Cliff Kingsbury is going to get fired at the end of the year. I can guarantee you that.
I would probably put a bet on Cliff Kingsbury being fired over a guy like Robert Saleh. I feel like it would be too early to fire Robert Saleh.
If Robert Saleh goes 2-15, 3-14, 4-13,
yeah,
the defense doesn't improve. They're still getting gassed, and you hired a defensive head coach.
That's true.
And I love Robert Saleh.
Yeah.
God damn, he's a local man. Welcome to the NFL, man. Mm-hmm. I can't help anything with that.
Would Dan be a candidate?
Dan applies.
I was gonna say, because if you
Dan applies.
if you win 4 games this year.
But again, context matters, right? Whether it's injuries, whether how the games play out, a million things we won't know until the season is over and played with.
Yeah.
But that's the reality. And you want to talk about a head coaching vacancy that none of you are thinking about?
Pete Carroll. Who?
Bill Belichick in New England.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Retiring or
retiring?
Okay,
he won't get fired.
I was like, what? I was like, how would he get fired? Yeah,
no, he won't get fired.
Yeah, I can see that.
Walks away.
Matt Patricia replaces him.
Oh my God, I would pay anything in the world to see Matt Patricia coach the Patriots for 5 full seasons and see what he does to that organization. Look, they've had their 6 Super Bowls. They can kick rocks. They deserve a little bit of suck, all right? Having said that, moving on from Jimmy G.
Yep.
Should the Lions pursue a backup quarterback? And when I say a backup quarterback, I mean, are you interested in keeping David Blau on the roster and going after a Strever, I believe, Chris Strever?
Yeah, Strevler, the guy from the New York Jets cut.
Yeah. Pretty good preseason. You have Carson Strong. Cam Newton has been circled around, has been a name thrown out there.
Yeah.
Dare I say Colin Kaepernick?
Yep.
I'm not interested in any of this. I'm just going to tell you now, so I'll let you give your reasons. I'm not interested. I don't mind David Blau as the backup, because if Jared Goff goes down,
you're screwed.
You're screwed.
Yeah. No, it's listen, that's kind of how I view it as well. I think the only thing I would add is I don't have a problem with them signing Carson Strong. I mean, listen, if you're going to keep 3 quarterbacks, at least keep a guy on your roster that we talked about drafting in, the 5th, 6th round. I think he would be a good just project quarterback. He doesn't work out. He's an undrafted free agent anyway. But besides that, Adam, I don't care. I mean, I don't think Cam Newton – I don't think the Lions will bring him in, even though I love Cam Newton. But let's be honest with you, I just don't think Dan Campbell would want a backup quarterback like Cam Newton because, again, talk about the narrative I brought up earlier. They're going to be clamoring for Cam Newton. And then the other one with Colin Kaepernick, I just don't see that with the attention he brings. It's nothing against Cap in his game. It's just We don't need the attention right now on the Detroit Lions. It just needs to be strictly football. So in my opinion, maybe you go take a chance on a guy like Carson Strong, but if not, Adham, I don't care. Because regardless, like we talk about, we emphasize all the time, whoever's your starting quarterback, you're screwed. Or backup quarterback, you're screwed. And unless you're starting, unless you have Jimmy G. But it's not happening. So
yeah, look, I agree. And you know what? There are a few comments in the chat I do want to address. You guys really think if Dan Campbell went winless, he would be coaching next year? Honest question. Or are you just being dramatic? And I'll just ignore your comment moving forward. You tell me. Campbell goes out, wins 0 to 2 games. Hell, even 3. But what are we talking about here? You're confident going into next year? You're saying, oh, well, it definitely deserves year 3. Deserves year 3? Or you're going to give it to him hoping he turns it around, which is just blind hope. Jeff, how many games do you think they win this year?
Minimum 7.
Minimum
6.
7.
Yeah.
All right,
You
I'm
go
on board.
6.
I'm on board with minimum 6.
Yeah, 6 is
And
probably.
I think 7 and 10, 8 and 9 is very doable.
Yeah.
I think the roster is there on offense. They have no excuse. The defense, I believe, will get better alongside Aaron Glenn throughout the season as it goes on. Hell, you saw them last year put out some really good performances for a team that was obliterated on defense with injuries. So,
I got him at 8-9, so that's my.
yeah, I find it hard to believe that you'd actually have a conversation with me at the end of the year if Dan Campbell was 2-15 or 3-14.
Yeah,
Context matters.
Context, yeah. The injuries.
What happens? I get it, but I'm just saying, to sit there and say something like that, I doubt completely. Dan needs 5 wins minimum. If the Lions don't improve, Sheila won't play him like her daddy would have. You know what?
That's a good point.
Funky, I'm not going to say you're wrong there. I'm really not.
No, that's a good point.
Lions could win the NFC North, and that's the bottom line. Mike G.
That's a pun because he said that's the bottom line. Well, now Ermanni and Edwards, but they think
Okay.
Listen,
I'm gonna
at least
entertain
Ryan does. Ryan does.
We got how long? do we
Braylon
got
has
now?
like 4 wins.
We
5
got
wins.
2 minutes. Braylon's a Debbie Downer.
Well, he's very
Braylon
realistic.
walks in one
he's
day.
very realistic.
6 wins, baby. All right, I watched the first episode of Hard Knocks. Ba-bang, 3 wins. What the fuck is that? Anyways, sorry.
We'll see.
She's gonna get mad.
We'll see.
We have a few minutes. All right.
Yeah.
Let's entertain the idea that they can win the North. Okay.
Okay. At least contend this year.
Aaron Rodgers struggles because his wide receivers absolutely suck. The Packers defense, which we all expect to be a top 5 defense, struggles. They don't do as well as they think. They have injuries, whatever. Let's say the Packers are a 6-11, 7-10 football team, which I doubt. Okay. That goes in your favor. What do you think about Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota? Because what I see is probably the next Matt LaFleur, Sean McVay, Kyle
Hey,
Shanahan.
so does Braylon. We agree.
And that's a guy I think wins the division this year. That guy and that team. So you tell me how you're supposed to win the North with that defense. And the idea that if Goff misses a 2-3 game stretch, you probably go 0-3.
Yeah.
Not interested. Not interested in NFC North talks. Again, you know me. I say the same thing. By year 3, you should contend for your division. Damn it, win it. By year 3 of any rebuild, you should at least be in the conversation. By next August, if we're not up here having a conversation about the Lions should be competing for the NFC North, they have failed at their jobs.
It took Zach Taylor 3 years. Then he
It
won
takes
division.
teams 1 year.
Yeah.
Competent coaching, competent GM, good quarterback.
You find your quarterback.
I like
yep.
to believe you have I like to believe you have an average quarterback, which you can win with. Most recently, Ryan Tannehill last year. Your coach unproven. I like to think he's going to do a good job this year. I see qualities I like about him, and I really like the GM. So you're this close, but now you got to do it on the field. See, because if you do it on the field, well, then you have the GM. You can kind of cross off you have the head coach box, and you know you can win with an average quarterback and then draft your quarterback in the following year. It all works out. But to put NFC North expectations, you're just setting yourself up for disappointment, and it's just unrealistic. Because the Packers are not going to be a 6-11, 7-10 football team. It's just not going to happen.
No.
Not going to happen. When we get back, speaking of expectations, we will get into Lions' early season expectations. Aidan Hutchinson a clear front runner for Rookie of the Year. His stock is slowly but surely rising. I'm a big fan of Aidan Hutchinson. I actually want to talk to you about what Pat McAfee had to say last week about Aidan Hutchinson. So we'll get to all that and more. But before we do, Jeff, our good friends over at the Academy of Warren.
Yes, guys, let me tell you about our friends at the Academy of Warren, because they have a brand new state-of-the-art sports dome field house that has a regulation basketball court, which we will be visiting very soon to do our 3-on-3 tournament here at Woodward Sports. They have a volleyball court, a soccer field, also can be used for 7-on-7 football. They also feature K-8 athletics. They have free breakfast and lunch, academic games, futuristic media centers. All of these perks you can have for your children. Enroll them at the Academy of Warren today at theacademyofwarren.net.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risk, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader Bet Tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Chef Iafrate here, and let me tell you about our friends at Big Frog, because you guys can get a free, I said free, Woodward Sports t-shirt. That's right, a free Woodward Sports t-shirt all month long at Big Frog in Novi. You just stop in, you tell them we sent you, and they will print one out for you on the spot. So go to Big Frog in Novi today, get your free t-shirt, or visit them online at bigfrog.com/Novi.
Super nice though.
Well done, Jeff.
Getting seductive in my ear over there.
Hey.
Sweet
What
nothings.
do they call it? ASMR?
Yeah, ASMR.
Yeah.
So that's crazy to me.
Uh-oh.
So I like to believe I'm pretty up to date
That was the thing, I think like 2 or 3
on
years
what
ago.
people watch.
Okay.
And it doesn't surprise me that my younger brother sits there and sits on Twitch all day.
How
It
do you
doesn't
not?
surprise me at all.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. But the whole ASMR thing,
I don't get it.
imagine putting on headphones, going into your bed, laying down, putting the sheets over you, bring out the laptop, and watch somebody.
Sounds weird. It sounds weird
Dude,
already.
it gets worse. Watch somebody dead ass talking to a mic. Hello. Listen to me. What the hell are we doing?
Hey, as long as
Look, you're into feet fetish. I get it, all right? Look, you have some stuff about you probably don't want anybody to know about. That's fine. I can respect it. How about we chill out on some of the stuff we're doing here, let alone publicly, huh?
Hey, you gotta address the people that watch videos of people eating. The mukbangs, they call them.
yeah.
You watch people eating food.
Yeah.
Like that's like an actual thing.
That's also like
Like people record
ASMR.
videos of them eating food, like
Yeah.
fast food or
Please
whatever.
tell me you're joking.
No,
I'm
that
not
was
kidding.
like last year, that was a massive thing.
So people, when they're bored,
Everyone would go to like
will go on
KFC,
YouTube
Chick-fil-A.
and watch someone eat Chick-fil-A.
Yep, they get like, we got a 20-piece nugget.
Maybe
we
that's
got
a
a
fetish?
5-piece bucket. We got the fries, 2 orders of fries. We got five
And
Are you
that goes-
serious?
and
You're pulling my leg.
No.
No, this is
and
a real
they'll eat,
thing.
they'll turn it into an ASMR. They'll eat really close to the mic. You know.
You
Yeah.
sick fucks. That's why this goddamn fucking country's obese. What the
And they'll
fuck
say,
happened to us?
Let's move on to the noodles.
Is this Stalin Adam coming out?
What the
This-
fuck happened to us?
Oh, that means my coffee's done.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're better than this.
Here.
Oh,
You
no.
guys have to be messing with me.
No, it's messed up,
That's
man.
disgusting.
The chat knows. The chat knows.
Go into YouTube. Mark
Keep it away, Fish.
Bongs.
You sick freaks.
Keep it away.
Look, all right, we're going to have intervention here this morning for 1 minute before we start getting
Here,
back on
look
track.
at all these. All
That's
these.
disgusting.
Still going.
That's disgusting.
All these.
Just eating
That's
food.
disgusting.
There's
Look,
more.
if you at home, Fish, if you at home struggle and you're on YouTube at night watching people eat close into the microphone, okay? Call this number, 313-552-6322, all right?
Yeah.
We'll
talk.
get you help. All right, it's a private hotline. I'll be there to support you. Oh my God!
Hollywood said mukbangs are good reviews and for story
Mukbangs?
time.
What the hell does that even mean?
That's
Actually,
just the thing that they call it. I don't know.
hey, listen.
Mukbangs?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't ask me how you got the terminology.
ASMR
sick
mukbang,
asses.
spicy
You
spicy
sick freaks.
fire
You probably
shrimp.
eat fast food off of a fat naked person. You sick asses.
ASMR mukbang, double Big Mac,
Damn,
cheesy
that's like a
hash
term.
brown.
Jesus Christ. All right, moving on.
ASMR Chinese food, mukbang.
Fish, shut the hell up. All right, Jeff. We talked about expectations a little bit.
We did.
Talked about what Dan Campbell would need to do. He got a 6-year deal, okay? I think when Sheila and Brad got together, along with Dan, at the end of the day, after all the contracts were settled, they looked at this project and probably said to themselves, we do this right, it's 3 years. Mm-hmm. And I think so far they are doing it right. And I love the fact that they didn't rush into drafting a quarterback. And I love the idea of Jared Goff being the quarterback this singular season because what it provides, and it provides clarity. Top 5 offensive line. Mm-hmm. Up-and-coming wide receivers. TJ Hutchinson, DeAndre Swift. Basically running back by committee at this point. Oh, an up-and-coming rising star, in my opinion, at offensive coordinator in Ben Johnson. If Jared Goff shows any kind of success this season, I would feel excellent about him going into the following year with a rookie sitting on the bench for a year. And I always bring up the Alex Smith comparison. Whoever you want to use, be my guest. For me, that is the ideal scenario.
I agree with you.
Jared Goff at least makes you a division contender. I'm not saying a Super Bowl contender. I'm not saying a team that's going to win multiple playoff games. But damn it, in a 3-year stretch, Alex Smith gave you 2 division titles and 1 playoff win. Mm-hmm. If Jared Goff gives you anything similar to that in the next 3 seasons, you would consider that a major success. Does he do that? I don't think so. It's still too early, and you don't know enough about Dan Campbell. If Andy Reid was the coach, we're probably having a different conversation. But you got to wait for Dan to prove himself as well. So if I told you in the next 2 seasons, hell, even 3, he's here for the remainder of his contract, and you delay drafting a quarterback by another year, but you win a division, and you win a playoff game, would you have deemed it worthy? I think most of you would. Do I think that's the case? I don't. But we have to understand what's going on here. Jared Goff is the quarterback this season, no questions asked. We're not going to talk about it. Next season, I think he should be given performance.
To start, yeah.
And if they go out and win 6 games, 7 games, and show improvement, then I can look at Jared Goff next year and say, you should be contending for the division with this team, Dan Campbell. And I know Brad Holmes is going to add talent in the offseason. And if they do compete, well, then you have a tough decision to make. It should be easy, but it's tough. Do we continue with the guy who led us to our first double-digit win season in years? Or do we start the second-year quarterback? I would argue for the second-year quarterback, depending on how they do in practice, how they're developing. But that's the ideal scenario. Jordan Love, you gave up on him. That's it. It's done. It didn't work. You know typically right away what you have. And when Brad Holmes makes a decision, this is my guy. If he sits him a year, great. If he starts him right away, great. Who cares? This isn't 1987, 88, the 90s, hell, even the early 2000s, where sitting a quarterback is the preferred method. There's no excuses anymore. Sink or swim. And I think whatever young rookie quarterback comes to this football team has 0 excuses because of the offensive line, because of the ability to run the football, because of the offensive coordinator they have, because of Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, TJ Hutchinson. You have an abundance of support here in Detroit. So even if you draft one this upcoming season in the first round, you can cut Jared Goff and start the rookie right away, and you should have success if he's what you think he is.
Absolutely.
There is no excuse anymore. Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, even Trevor Lawrence last year, for a kid who struggled, you see it. You see it. It doesn't take long. You're kind of concerned about Zach Wilson, aren't you? Kind of concerned about Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold when they were there, huh? Oh. You know typically right away. There are a few cases where they're injured their first 2 years, like Matthew Stafford was, but they show a lot of signs. You have faith, you stick it out, and then they play, and then everything works, and they're great, and they're healthy.
Or they start off great and then regress, like Jared Goff. Yeah, a little bit.
There are a lot of scenarios.
Different, yep.
But the reality is, if you're drafting a quarterback, they should be able to come in right away with this offense in play. No excuses. So the timeline, it's in your hands, guys. It's in your hands.
I think it's a big year, not only for Jarrad, but like you said, for Dan Campbell. We're going to find out a lot about those two. And I have the Lions right now at 8-9. I think worst case scenario, 6-11. And a lot of that is going to be determined by the offensive line and defensive line. Offensive line, because if you could run the football effectively and make Jarrad's job easier, like he had in L.A., being one of the best quarterbacks in play action, he's going to have success this year. Now, define success. For me, success is 7, 8, 9 wins. I don't think this team will win 10. I mean, if I'm saying they can win 9, of course they can win 10. I just don't think it'll happen. But also with that defensive line, if you could get to the quarterback effectively, and we talk about this linebacker core, we talk about this secondary, if you could put pressure on the quarterback consistently, it's going to make those guys' jobs a lot easier, and this defense will be even better than they were last year, because that was the problem last year. You couldn't get to the quarterback, and you didn't have a very good secondary besides Ermanni Iafrate, who had a monster season, and Tracy Walker, who was very fantastic, had, I believe, 100 tackles last year. But that's what it comes down to, the offensive line and defensive line. Jared Goff, he's in a position right now with the Lions. He has enough talent at least to have a good year this season. If you can, figure out, we always talk about Dan Campbell. What's his strength? What's his strong suit? I think it's the offensive side of the ball. You're going to find out a lot about Ben Johnson this season. I think Aaron Glenner's already sold his case. He's going to be a future head coach. But there's a lot of things that are going to be figured out this year. A lot of things that we talk about. We hype up Ben Johnson. We have projections for Dan Campbell and what the Lions will do this season. All of those questions will be answered. Jared Goff's future with the Detroit Lions, his first season, it's all right. Didn't have a lot of help. Now there's more help. Now, if Jared Goff struggles this season, we can have that conversation. Who should we bring in, or how do we get our next franchise quarterback? But until then, this team is going to be determined, Adam. I really believe it, by their offensive line and defensive line. Because if you say this whole season is determined by Jared Goff, although he is the quarterback and he does touch the ball every single time, it can't be just Jared. You got to have help, and it starts with running the football. So that's why if those guys can stay healthy, you don't want to lose Frank Ragnow. You don't want to have Taylor Decker out for half the season. If those guys can stay healthy along with that defensive line, that's going to be the tool to get into 8 to 9 wins.
Can I ask you something? And just be honest.
What's up?
All right? There's no right or wrong here. There's very right and absolutely wrong. What's the worst thing for a fan, an NFL organization, at any given moment about a franchise? Is it A, no clarity, no direction, or B, a direction but with no clarity? I think you would answer A.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd rather have
no clarity and no direction.
Yeah,
At least with Detroit, I can sell you on direction.
Right. Yeah. Right.
I can sell you on Brad Holmes as of now. I can sell you where I think they're going. Most teams in the NFL, Jeff, don't have a direction and don't have clarity. The only clarity you lack right now in Allen Park is just how good Goff will be this year. Right? And who that future quarterback is, because you will need it. And whether or not your head coach is a legit head coach. Those are the two things that are very unclear at the moment. That you will have clarity probably by the end of the season. I think by the end of the season, I will be confident to tell you whether or not I think Dan Campbell is a scrub, a good coach, an average coach, above average, dare I say elite, who knows? I think by the end of the season, we'll have a good idea. Same with Jared Goff.
Right.
He'll give me clarity on whether I'm keeping him for next year or if I'm letting him go. And either way, whether he plays well or awful, you know what that provides me, Jeff?
Clarity.
Clarity.
That's
Which
it.
means I can make a pick in the draft knowing I exactly must have this position. I must have it. Clarity's everything. I'm all for it. When we get back, Aidan Hutchinson, the clear front runner for Defensive Rookie of the Year. But before we go, I got to tell you about the official studio sponsor of the Woodward Sports Network, and that is Planet Fitness, your home of the judgment-free zone. Start today for $0 down, $10 a month. Your fitness is essential. I was actually at the gym this morning. I was thinking of fish when I was working out. It actually helped me a ton because, God damn it, he annoys the hell out of me. So if you have a fish in your life, it's time to get to Planet Fitness. Stress-free, worry-free, judgment-free. Get to a Planet Fitness near you.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Let me tell you about our friends at Alta, because, guys, uptime matters. It really does. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. Have a big project coming up? Alta Rent has you covered. Call them today, 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
All right, back here on the Morning Woodward Show, 8:47 on a beautiful Tuesday morning. This is my kind of weather, right?
I mean, you could call it that.
For me, it's almost fall. You know what fall tells me? Football season.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Michigan State open up Friday, I believe against Western. Saturday, Michigan. Let's call it what it is, guys. This is a non-biased show. On Saturday, the best college football quarterback will be starting for the University of Michigan, and that is Cade McNamara.
What are they, 3 touchdown favorites over Colorado State?
Oh, yeah, they're going to kill them. They're going to kill them. You know what's funny? Appalachian State game, I was way too young, but
yeah,
that game to this day, it just tells you how important. We always take non-conference games for granted. When you lose to teams like Hawaii or Colorado State,
detrimental.
It's awful. It is awful. It took years for the fan base, hell, the program to recover from that. But beyond the point. Moving on, Aidan Hutchinson. So, Evan Foxy, big Detroit Lions fan.
Shout out Evan Foxy.
Shout out Foxy. There's some real buy-in right now, not only into what Dan Campbell's doing with the Lions, but also that pick. And that pick I'm referring to is Aidan Hutchinson. Quote, Pat McAfee, he's a home run pick. So, obviously, the Colts had joint practice with the Lions. McAfee was live at Colts practice. He got to see it all live. And when I heard home run pick from Pat, is it gospel? Oh, my goodness. Cash the check? No, it's not that serious, but it's very important. And I'll tell you guys why. Jeff, we talked about it so many times. Who was the ultimate Dan Campbell pick before the draft? It didn't matter where you took him. 152, it didn't matter. Who was the one guy that you could bring in and it would make sense?
Aidan Hutchinson.
And who was the one guy leading up to the draft? You absolutely were so confident, 99.9% confident that he was not going to be there at number 2.
The best player in the draft, Aidan Hutchinson. You didn't think he'd be there.
And here he is. He falls to you. Mm-hmm. You take him, immediately earning the respect of every veteran in the building. The work ethic, the ability, the agility, his athleticism, very underrated.
Versatility, too.
He is phenomenal. Lining up on the inside, outside, it doesn't matter. The guy is all about it. Mm-hmm. Do I think he's going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year? I do.
Me too.
I think he'll keep that streak of 5 out of the last 6 going. I think he'll continue that trend. But more than anything, Jeff, you draft somebody number 2 overall, that's what you want to see. and this isn't Jeff Okudah bash Jeff Okudah time, but he is a recent example. You don't want to have that play out.
No.
And when I see Aidan Hutchinson, people who say 15 sacks, okay, I hope you're right.
Sam Flannel has him at 12.
8, 9 sacks, I think, is very impressive year one, especially for a team that's finished bottom 5, bottom 6 in the league in quarterback pressures, quarterback sacks the last 6, 7, 8 years.
Right.
So that's the pick, man. That's the pick that just gave me a huge sigh of relief. Because you know who's going to be a team captain next year?
Aidan Hutchinson.
You know who's going to be your best defensive player by the end of the season?
Hutchinson. That guy right there.
It's, again, the games still need to play out. He needs to perform. I get it. But I'm telling you, that is what a number 2 overall pick looks like. That is what they sound like. That is how they work. And you couldn't have asked for a better pick at number 2. Not Thibodeau, not Malik Willis, you idiots. None of it. Aidan Hutchinson was the right pick. Surprised he fell, and I'm very happy he did.
And even me, like a guy who was very high on Thibodeau, I think the difference is, and you see with Aidan, it's the versatility. Aidan's very good at stopping the run. They use him all around that defensive line, and that's going to help him this year, especially up the Lions. And I'll go a step further. I think it's his award to lose. I really do. He's playing the more favorable position, if you look at it. I don't really see a corner winning it unless Sauce or Derek Stingley have a fantastic season, a phenomenal season. And then you have Kayvon Thibodeau, who really is the second guy. I don't think Trayvon Walker, that's just me. I don't think Trayvon Walker will be in this race. I thought it would be between Kayvon or Aidan. Kayvon now out for a couple weeks with that MCL injury. That's what I'm looking at the most. Is Kayvon's going to come back? He's going to get acclimated, get his legs back under him. Aidan's already full gone. He played in the preseason. He played pretty damn well. And I wanted to look back at the other defensive rookies of the years and kind of compare stats. So we have Chase Young. Chase Young, a guy who was drafted number 2, to your point, won it with 7.5 sacks and 4 forced fumbles and 12 QB hits in 15 games. Now, Aidan plays 17 games now, and hopefully he starts every single one of those games. Just to put it in comparison, Nick Bosa won it. Another guy who was drafted number 2, I believe. 9 sacks, 1 interception, and 25 quarterback hits in 16 games. So if you look at those two stats, Chase with 7.5 sacks, Nick Bosa with 9 sacks in less games than Aidan will play. Wherever you have Aidan Hutchinson this year, if you can get 9 sacks, 10 sacks, even 8.5, whatever it is, in my opinion, I think that's enough to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. I really do. Considering you look at the quarterback hits, Chase Young had 12, and he won Defensive Rookie of the Year. Nick Bosa had 25, and he won Defensive Rookie of the Year. So, and I know Aidan Hutchinson's going to be in the quarterback's face. He's going to be putting pressure on him. You saw it in the preseason. That's something you're going to look at this year. In 17 games, how many sacks can Aidan get? I have him this year at 9.5. That's my prediction. I think he'll have 9.5 sacks. And in my opinion, that's enough to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. I really do. I thought it was a two-man race this whole time, and with Kayvon out for 3-4 weeks with that MCL injury, I think it's Aidan Hutchinson's award to lose, Adam, in my opinion.
I agree, especially with Kayvon's injury, like you mentioned, 100%. He's got to be the front runner. You know who's somebody that has not gotten a lot of attention, but he went to a really good situation, and he's a Big Ten player.
Jermaine?
He went to a Big Ten school, went to a quiet situation, I would say a very good organization, and actually shown out in preseason. George Karlaftis. Remember a guy who was projected a top 10 pick?
Yeah, Chiefs got a good one.
Fell all the way to the Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs got a good one.
And he's doing pretty damn well. And I think that's somebody that'll probably have a really good year as well. He's in a great system. He'll have a lot of one-on-one matchups, but Aidan was the pick, and I can't believe he fell. And Jack, you're absolutely right. Don't sleep on Mafe having a big season. Yeah, I mean, oof.
Those are the sneaky ones.
I'm sorry.
Boye Mafe and Karlaftis. I mean, those guys are...
Look, without naming names, because I don't like doing this, but I think you all know deep down I do, and that's why I say that. Mm-hmm. For all of you, and you know who you are, that try to make the argument going into the draft that if Aidan Hutchinson was on the board, you would pass on him for Jordan Davis or Malik Willis because it was a, quote, deep pass rushing class. I want you to find the nearest bathroom. I want you to take a plunger and shove it up your ass. And I want you to walk around all day with it in your ass. Because you are what's wrong with this world. You. All of you. Boye Mafe, isn't he in Seattle? I believe he is, correct? Mafe's in Seattle.
Yes, he is.
So, good luck in Seattle. Good luck shining on a defense that's going to struggle. Good luck shining when you're going to have to be basically a run stopper most games because your offense isn't going to score many points and you're going to be down all game. And teams are going to be playing the clock. Good luck. Good luck. I find it tough to believe. I find it tough to believe that we actually had to have conversations going into the draft that Kyle Hamilton, Malik Willis, and Jarrad Davis were better picks than Aidan Hutchinson at number 2 overall because it was, quote, a deep pass rushing class. You kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I'm not defending those guys. It's a great question. And I get
Josh
people,
Pascal better pan out. Go ahead, Jeff.
And I get why people also, when you talk about Jarrad Davis, Boye Mafe, I think the difference, and you talked about a defense that'll struggle. I think the Lions' defense will struggle, but the difference is their offense is not going to put them in bad situations. I think that's the difference. Aidan at least has other help as well when Romeo Okwara gets back. That's a 12-sack guy. You have Charles Harris, who had 7.5 sacks last year. You have good interior defensive linemen. I think it's a better situation for Aidan Hutchinson. Trayvon Walker in Jacksonville is the one I'm interested to see because most betting websites don't have him even close. It's really, he's probably 3rd or 4th. You have Sauce, you have Derek Stingley still in that conversation. That's going to be a tough one to look into. But I see people talking about Kyle Hamilton as well. remember that
Kyle Hamilton talk?
Never forget that. Number 2.
Okay, so just so everybody is aware, draft the cocaine. I'm sure you all remember that. One of my favorite things we've ever done. That all originated from the people who are disabled that said, oh, Kyle Hamilton at number 2. Kyle Hamilton number 2. We should take a deep, it's a deep pass rushing class. We're going to take a safety number 2. As if like you didn't pay attention to what's been going on in the NFL. Are you kidding me? Pay him $10 million a year? Imagine giving a safety a $20 million signing bonus. Imagine a safety who's getting... Look, sorry, you can call it racist, whatever you want. I don't give a damn. When you're a safety in the NFL and you're projected one of the better safeties coming out of this year's draft class and you're getting burnt by some white dude on the practice squad, you have a problem. You have a problem. Having said that, all is forgiven. The Lions made the absolute home run pick. I agree with it 100%. Top of the hour coming up. Detroit Lions roster cuts revisited. Did the Lions make any mistakes? Obviously, the Tom Kennedy, Trinity Benson scenario. They still have cuts to make. Yeah. But Benson, I want to know what they see there that we're not. And Quintez Cephas, the same thing. It's always potential. Game changer. When he's on the field.
I have a theory on Trinity Benson.
I can't wait to hear it. Top of the hour coming up in just a bit. But before we go, I got to tell you about the Mulligan, the official drink of the summer, brought to you by Gypsy Vodka. Of course, try a Mulligan today, whether you're on the golf course or you're hanging out with Westfall and Fish at a barbecue. Now, the food's probably not good because it's Westfall and Fish, but hey, you know what makes up for the bad food? A great drink, and that's the Mulligan. Iced tea, lemonade, Gypsy Vodka mixed, 8% alcohol. Make sure you drink responsibly, as always.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer, Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Holton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Ciabattas, summer salads, and dip shakes. All at Big Boy. Try a chicken club, chicken cordon bleu, or sunrise ham and cheddar. All on our grilled ciabatta bread. Or keep it light with our Michigan apple, chicken Caesar, or Greek salad. And don't forget to cool off with a frosty hand-dipped cookies and cream or strawberry shake. You heard it here first. Summer just got better.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Jeff Iafrate here, and I'm going to tell you about Chili Peppers Tanning because, guys, you can join the Pepper Club at Chili Peppers Tanning. You'll get all the best deals, and they beat all competitors by $5. Chili Peppers has the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, and the darkest tans. 26 locations and more on the way.
Chili Peppers Tan.
And we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Whew, top of the hour brought to you by our good friends over at Bedrock Detroit. Man, Jeff, a few things we want to get to this hour. All right, first we'll get to the roster cuts. Your theory on Trinity Benson, which I'm very curious to hear. We've got Flannel Sam joining us at around, 9:29, 9:28-ish. We'll get Sean Murphy in the studio, actually remote.
Yep.
He'll be dialing in 9:40. We've got some Pistons talk. A lot of good things to cover this hour. But you have a theory.
I do.
You're making me a little nervous. And excited, I'm not going to lie. I'm actually very curious because I would like for you to explain to me your reasoning that you think Trinity Benson, Quintez Cephas makes sense right now. I know there's more players to get cut. It's not over and done with. But what I want to understand is Tom Kennedy is a guy that's just producing. But in practice, the reports are it's not so good. He turns up in game time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about Tom Kennedy, and I don't care about Trinity Benson. Hell, I don't even care about Quintez Cephas. But do they even have a chance to make the 53-man roster? I don't think so.
This is my theory, and it's on Trinity Benson. Quintez, I think, is good enough to make the roster, but this is how I feel about the situation between Tom Kennedy and Trinity Benson. In my opinion, to your point, I don't care about either one because it's not likely they play. Now, early they might because of Jamison Williams, but once he gets back, I don't think either guys are going to be on the field. My theory, though, on Trinity Benson is a part of me feels that Brad Holmes, in a way, you got to remember, this is a guy that we traded, or Brad Holmes specifically traded, a 5th-round 2022 draft pick and a 7th-round 2022 draft pick for Trinity Benson in Denver's 2023 6th-round pick. Now, looking at preseason and looking how, comparing Tom Kennedy and Trinity Benson, you would argue you've liked what you've seen out of Tom Kennedy. And I think the difference between those guys is Trinity Benson can play special teams. But on top of that, a part of me, Adam, feels like this not cutting Trinity Benson is a little bit of stubbornness from Brad Holmes. I really do, because he traded those picks for a guy who had 2 touchdowns in the preseason last year for the Denver Broncos. You thought you were getting something. It's like those Cracker Jack, the popcorn. You open it up, you want to see what you got. You got Trinity Benson, and you're like, oh, it's not as advertised. And a part of me feels like if you cut Trinity Benson, you're admitting you messed up by keeping Trinity Benson the upside, the versatility. You can use him on special teams. I get that. But if we're talking who's a better receiver, to me it's Tom Kennedy. But the fact that you didn't cut him, and you cut Tom Kennedy, and you saved Trinity Benson, a part of me feels, Adam, it's a little bit of stubbornness with Brad Holmes, not admitting you messed up. Because Tom Kennedy, there's no risk there. You brought him in, he was a practice squad guy, you can get rid of him. And I feel like that was Dan's guy. Trinity Benson is Brad's guy. And I feel like cutting him would be admitting Brad.
Yeah, but he didn't lose
up.
Anything for him, though, right? He gave up nothing.
Well, a 5th and a 7th for a guy who's not even going to play at all. I mean, you found Malcolm with a 6th.
If I may, and maybe I'm giving Brad Holmes the benefit of the doubt here, so you tell me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're crazy, but what I would say is I've seen him operate in the draft against common theory, against common practice. When he took Levi O in the 2nd round, I believe, of his first draft, and then followed it up with Lee McNeil,
right?
Who he thought was not going to be there. And he was like, whoa, this changes everything. You know what? This wasn't the plan, but we'll go against what I want. This guy is available. We're going to get him.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen much stubbornness out of Brad, and I'll say this. I would hope he's not holding his guns on a 5th and a 7th round pick for a wide receiver that will have no use on this team. Josh Reynolds, Jameson Williams when healthy, DJ Chark, Amon-Ra St. Brown. come on. That's a tough one for me. I hope not. I hope you're wrong.
Yeah.
God, stubbornness is a killer in life. I don't see Brad having any stubbornness.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he feels like he could still get something out of Trinity. But
maybe
again,
that's the case. And maybe he wants to give him every opportunity, and that he knew from the beginning Tom Kennedy was never going to make the roster spot.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. I don't see that. That's a tough one. I wouldn't say concerned, but I'd be a bit disappointed.
Because, listen, admittedly, we all have a little bit of stubbornness. You make a decision, and you want to be right about it. And I'm not sitting here questioning everything Brad Holmes does, but it was one of his first trades he made as a general manager, too. Like, hey, let's go get Trinity Benson. It didn't work out. But regardless, none of this matters. I mean, if we want to have this conversation about the receivers, the wide receiver room, it's really a compliment to how deep they really are. That's what I took out of it, too. There's a lot of talent with this Lions wide receiver room, and the fact that Kennedy didn't make the roster, it's not a shot at Tom Kennedy. If anything, those guys, Tom Kennedy deserves to be on an NFL roster. There's a team out there that can use Tom Kennedy. I mean, I could argue the Bears, the Packers. Now, you don't want them in your division because Lions fans are always scarred from a guy like Tom Kennedy coming to Ford Field and torching us. But I will say, I really do believe not getting rid of Trinity Benson. Yes, you could say, well, Jeff, he could play special teams, and I understand that. But I think it's a little bigger than that. I think there is a little bit of stubbornness with Brad Holmes because if you're basing it off production, it's Tom Kennedy. It really is over Trinity Benson, and I really do believe that. But again, we'll never know. It doesn't matter regardless. Once Jameson Williams gets back, all these guys will be available to play. But Fish, when you saw all the guys cut yesterday, Pimpleton was cut. That's a local guy, Muskegon guy.
Yeah.
And I was kind of upset about that. Are you surprised by any cuts? Is there anybody that you saw cut and you're like, dang, I like that guy?
I mean, I think the same thing as everyone else, Tom Kennedy.
Tom Kennedy, you know what's funny too? Neil Rule last week was I get it was admittedly joking, but going off about Tom Kennedy and how much he loved him. Because the guy produced in the preseason. I understand that. He's a fan favorite. He caught 2 touchdowns, not this last preseason game, but the preseason game before that against the Colts, I believe.
Yeah.
But I get it. Tom Kennedy, there's always a guy in the preseason everybody falls in love with, and for me it was Tom Kennedy. I really do. I mean, he's solid. He's a little gadget player. He's reliant, and Dan Campbell said the same thing about him. But to me, keeping Trinity Benson is a question I have, and I see people in the chat talking about Pimpleton, Pimp, as Dan Campbell calls him in Hard Knocks. That one I was a little upset by, just because personally I liked him. And I blame Hard Knocks for this, by the way, because Hard Knocks is making me fall in love with different types of players, and Pimpleton was one of those guys as well. Local guy, speedster, a guy that, he had a couple drops, which was a knock on Pimpleton, but and Speakeasy said Pimpleton was mid. I'm not saying he's not mid. I'm just saying, listen, this is a guy that I kind of had a little crush on. I like Pimpleton. I really did. But I just want to go back to Tom Kennedy and Trinity Benson. That's the thing I'm trying to get straight. Because you're going to need one of these guys. Jameson Williams on the PUP list to about week 6. You choose to go with Trinity Benson. I'm curious to see how it works out because I do think Tom Kennedy will be on an NFL roster soon. I really do. And I see the comments coming in. I do want to read some of these. Looted Corpse says, and Ryan says, Pimpleton, even with 100% catch rate, is questionable, too small. And you're not wrong about that. 5'9". I mean, even in special teams, Maurice Alexander, another guy that was impressive. But again, this is what happens. They got to get the roster down to 53. A knock or the knock. A wide receiver's sole job is to catch, Jeff. Yeah, I mean, listen, you're not wrong on that. Again, I really do blame Hard Knocks for this. Let's see. Pistons fan, if we were at a point where Benson is seeing snaps at wideout, we were in trouble regardless. Even if it was Kennedy, we'd be in trouble. And I think that's the bigger thing to take away from this. Regardless of if it's Trinity Benson or Tom Kennedy, we don't want either of these guys to see the field. My personal theory was just like, I wonder why. What made them make the decision to keep Trinity Benson over Tom Kennedy? That's all I'm asking. I'm asking the people. I need answers. Hoping you guys can help me figure it out. And Easy, I agree. I'm surprised Maurice Alexander is not cut yet. That's another one that may be on his way out as well soon. Yeah, you guys are just flooding this chat. 800 of you. By the way, guys, drop a like. Show some support. Let's try to get this thing to 200 likes. I know we have almost 1,000 people in here. I appreciate you guys. We're going to be covering Hard Knocks later on. Flannel Sam joins the show to talk about the Michigan quarterback situation. There's still a lot more. But I want to go to the people. Alex, can you put Can you put a poll in the chat? I want to ask the people, Tom Kennedy or Trinity Benson? I want the answer.
Speaking of the people, Jeff, can we talk about the idiots yesterday? Ermanni who wanted Jimmy Garoppolo on the Lions?
Oh my God. Well, that's okay. Well, we can't address those people, Fish. Those people I can't help. I really can't. Why in the hell would Jimmy G come here? Number one, and why would you give up assets for Jimmy G? It doesn't make any sense.
It does not.
But yeah, I want to go to the people with this poll: Trinity Benson or Tom Kennedy. I want to figure it out because I have my own theory on it. And Mark says Holmes won't admit his mistake on Benson. I agree with that. I really do. I
hope you're wrong.
And we're going to go to the people on it, Adam. I want to see. We have 832 people in here. I want you guys to vote. Personally. Not that this matters.
Well, it does. It does to me.
Because it's like the sixth
Because
one.
you're an ass.
Because I want my theories to be right. That's why I'm so adamant. All right.
Yeah, look, I think it's easy for everybody to vote and say Tom Kennedy, though, because of what they've seen him produce. Trinity Benson falls along the lines of Quintez Cephas, right? A guy you relatively don't see much about, but he's there.
At least Quintez did it in the regular season.
Once.
He had 200. He had
3 performances in maybe 3 years.
But he only but last year he played what? 5 games.
I know.
He had 200-something yards in 5 games.
Come on.
I get you. He needs to show it more. But
he needs to be healthy.
Yeah, that's all.
He comes out, gets a one-handed catch. Lions Twitter ejaculating all over their phones. The next day gets hurt. Hell, the same day he probably got hurt. I don't even remember correctly.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, listen. I'm not saying you're wrong, but
Benson hasn't done a damn thing.
No,
dude.
he hasn't.
He just hasn't. What's the poll say so far? Tom Kennedy, I'm going to assume by... Oh, wow. 57% of you only say Tom Kennedy. Wow. All right. What do you 43%ers think you're doing, huh? With what evidence would you vote Trinity Benson? That's what I want to ask this morning. Jeez.
That's the question. And I know it's a lot closer than I even thought. 131 votes right now. It's 58-42 in favor of Tom Kennedy. Steve-O said if Tom Kennedy played with Tom Brady, he'd be a Pro Bowler. Come on.
Most receivers with Tom Brady would be Pro Bowlers, to be honest.
That's very true. It's very true.
Cephas stays healthy. He's a matchup nightmare with all the other receiving options on the field. Okay, Eric, let's say I take that comment and I run with it, okay? How is Quintez Cephas ever going to be on the field after Week 7? See, you're going to have DJ Chark, Jamison Williams, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's your 3 wide receiver set most times.
Right.
Okay? And that means you probably have a running back in the backfield and a tight end. Single back set with a tight end, 3 wide receivers. That's pretty consistent, right? That's a common package in the NFL.
Right.
How is Cephas ever going to make the field if Josh Reynolds, in my opinion, is above him on the depth chart? So you go 4 wide receiver set. With maybe, dare I say, empty set actually in the backfield with a tight end or a running back. So you're going to put TJ Hawkinson out of the game in a 4 wide receiver set? No. I'm not buying that.
But if one of those guys get hurt,
let's say you go
Quintez steps in.
You empty it out. 5 wide receivers.
Ooh.
Jameson
now
Williams.
we're talking.
Let's say you need to throw the ball. 5 wide receiver set. Jameson.
Yep.
DJ. TJ. Amon-Ra. Josh Reynolds. Cephas, when is he ever going to see the field?
No, I'm not arguing.
And what scenarios outside of a few plays a game?
But that's the thing, though, Adam. I'm not arguing you should see the field, but at least you have a guy who's there. If someone gets injured, you have a guy who's played and at least played well in the regular season. The only thing I'll agree with you on is he's got to stay healthy. I mean, I agree with you there. But in terms of production, he showed last season in 5 games he had 200 yards, over 200 yards. If you do the math, if he played the whole season, if he consistently plays that well, I get there's holes at the wide receiver room last year, and they got
700
better.
yards.
But that's solid. I mean, for a guy that is probably your 4th, 5th best receiver, it's not bad.
I hope
better than Benson and Kennedy.
I hope Benson just gets cut today and I never have to do this again.
And listen, we got to address this too. The people that are saying, well, Trinity Benson can play special teams. I understand that.
Khalif Raymond.
Yeah. There's other. Listen, I get it. But I really do. I think Tom Kennedy deserved a roster spot over Trinity Benson. That's my point.
Regardless, fair enough. Let's move on. Flannel Sam coming up in about 10, 12 minutes. Sean Murphy at 9:40. When we get back, You know what? We're going to segue into the Pistons a little bit before we get Sean on.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll continue from there. But before we do, Jeff, our good friends over at the Sports Marketing Agency.
Yes, guys, let me tell you about our friends at SMA. Because, guys, the Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness in other the mental health, substance abuse, their new podcast. This is the F Word series on fentanyl. It does. It helps spread awareness of fentanyl and other addictions. If you have any of these issues, please go to thesportsma.com if you are struggling or you know somebody who is.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Detroit's downtown summer playground is back. Open all summer long, the Monroe Street Midway. Enjoy roller skating, free Wi-Fi, food trucks, art installations, and so much more. Don't forget to take advantage of the basketball court, putt-putt, and, of course, family programming all summer long. All art installations are done by Detroit artists, and it's a fun, safe event from people 1 to 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com.
Make sure you're listening to Woodward Sports all day long. Start your morning with the Morning Woodward Show. Spend middays with Big D Energy. Watch and listen your drive home with the Bottom Line. And don't forget about Woodward Bets Daily. All live, all right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Let me tell you about our friends at Fulling Warehouse in Hamtramck. They're the home of the original football bowling pin game called Fulling. To play, you either have the $10 or $12, unlimited open play, or you can pay $120 for a lane reservation for up to 10 people. They also have the $2 mystery beer machine, which my guy Spencer knows very well, and a full bar. Check it out, FullingWarehouse.com. Tell them your friends at Woodward Sports sent you.
Absolutely. Spencer's a thriving alcoholic is how I describe him. You know? He's an alcoholic, but he's doing good in his life.
He is. I would say he's a unit. That man could. I mean, you saw it during the Red Wings draft, the stream. I mean, the man took down like 6 beers and didn't even hear it.
He's an alcoholic.
You just heard cans jiggling at the bottom next to the TV booth.
I know. Believe me.
Love Spence, man. Shout out to the heavyweights.
Well, look, we're back here. What time is it? 9:17.
Yeah.
Tuesday morning, downtown Birmingham, the Planet Fitness Studios. Jeff, Cade Cunningham, our boy.
Superstar.
All right. Snub for Rookie of the Year. We had our beef with it. We moved on. We're back going into year 2. What does Cade need to provide this team this year? That will be different from last, right? He was one of the better clutch players down the stretch. Averaged, 22, 5, and 5 for the month of, correct me if I'm wrong, March?
March, yep. Tied Michael Jordan.
The only players to do it ever as a rookie.
Yep.
So there's something there, but how does it now translate into wins? And when we talk about wins, they were 23 and 59. What does it look like this season, Jeff, with year 2 Cade, who I could argue could give you 27 and 6, 26 and 8?
Mm-hmm.
Really just depends. Cade's going to be phenomenal this year. Hell of a player to watch. But what does it mean for the Pistons?
He's got to impact winning. That's the thing you look at, especially for young players. You can put up stats, but how do you impact winning? That's the question. Last year, post-All-Star break, Cade put up the numbers Adham just referenced. They were almost 500. That's what you look at. The stats are great. But if my favorite player in the NBA personally is Devin Booker. That's my guy. It's been my favorite for a long time. Now Cade Cunningham is up there as well. But with Devin Booker, the issue with Devin is he was never able to affect winning until Chris Paul got there and helped him achieve that. I think Cade is cerebral enough and has the basketball IQ to get that early on in his career because he's a very, very high IQ basketball player. But with Cade, I expect him to put up, 22, 6, and 7 this year. You can check out my stat predictions on From Half Court on their Instagram and Twitter. I believe it was 22, 6, and 6, if I'm not mistaken. But the reason I went for that is because I think, listen, number one, he's getting stronger, so he's going to be able to get to the free throw line a lot more. And the guy averaged 18 last year without getting to the free throw line really at all. So give him a couple more free throws, I'm telling you. And he's more efficient. He's going to have 22 points per game. But the question is, how does he impact winning? And it's not just him. It's Sadiq, it's Jaden Ivey, Isaiah Stewart, and et cetera, et cetera. But that's what I'm looking at. Is you talk about him being a closer, which he is. You saw it really against some of the best teams in the NBA talent-wise. He stepped up, had a good game, played well against the Brooklyn Nets, played well against the Boston Celtics. But really with Cade, Adam, it's how do you affect winning? And you don't have to go out and win 50, 45 games this year. But if you can increase this win total from 23 to 30-ish wins, I'll take it. And I think as this team gets more talented, they get older, they learn how to win together, this is going to be a team that's atop of the East. It is really contending. I truly believe that because we have a superstar in Cade Cunningham. The question is, it's not always about your superstars because those superstars will get you there, but it's about the others to seal the deal and win you an NBA title. So that's what I'm looking at with Cade this year, Adam, is he can put up the stats, but how does he affect the game in terms of winning?
It's a young team, right? They're going to be inconsistent, but I think winning, you're right, is probably going to be the major category he's going to impact. He's going to make everybody around him better.
Right.
Jaden Ivey, I think, will find it easier in the NBA playing with Cade Cunningham than Cade Cunningham found playing in the NBA with a Jeremy Grant. Right? So Ivey's in a better situation than even Cade was last season.
Mm-hmm.
And let's not forget about Mr. Stewart.
Stew.
Who's knocking down threes.
Dude, yeah.
I mean, is he one of the more complete players in the NBA, a top 5, top 10? No, he's not. Not at his position. Not in the NBA. But you know what? That trait that Isaiah Stewart possesses, there are superstars, hell, even borderline all-stars and stars in the game that do not have that trait. The willingness and ability to improve your game in the offseason. Most rely on their God-given talent, their ability to get to the basket, just a standard amount of practice. Beef Stew in the lab now has a very, very respectable three-point shot. And it's going to allow the Pistons to do what? Stretch the floor.
Right.
And that's going to be a problem, especially when you have a Jaden Ivey on the field, or excuse me, on the court. And he's going to be able to do as he pleases. Beef Stew sitting on the corner. You can go small ball. Hell, Bagley won't take up space in the paint.
Right. Now you have one guy in the paint.
You're going to have Cade, Sadiq.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to be able to attack the basket at will. And at any point, there is a collapse or a double team.
You're going to have to make a business decision.
And you're going to have to live with it.
Yeah.
And I think it's really going to improve the team this year. I really do. Not only Cade, but I think Stewart's ability to grow in the offseason, develop his three-point shot is so important to this basketball team.
And I want to clear this up, too, because I agree with everything you're saying. But I know people watch the Rico Hines footage and Ball is Life footage, which we will get to at 9:40. We're having Sean Murphy on from Half Court, helps with Woodward Pistons as well, writes Pistons articles for Woodward Sports. I want to ask and get into this with him as well. But with Isaiah Stewart, guys, I get it. We're excited. I think he's going to be able to space the floor. You saw it in the footage. His shot looks good. And he's had this shot, by the way, for a long time. He just didn't attempt them last year. Down the stretch, he did knock some down. But let's just brace ourselves. Because I've seen, after the footage came out yesterday, I looked at, was on Twitter, people saying, man, Isaiah Stewart's going to shoot 36, 37% from three. No, I don't think he will. I think there's a process to getting there. I think his first season, this season, when he's taking about 3 attempts per game, he might be a 1-for-3 guy. He might shoot 33%, but as time goes on, I do think he'll get better. But it is a process, Adam. It is.
All right, well, we're going to be joined by Flannel Sam in just a few minutes. So before we get to Michigan football, the quarterback situation, why Michigan fans may be in for a surprise on Saturday. We'll get to all that and more, but before we do, I got to tell you about where I get my haircut and my beard taken care of every week, and that's at Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. They're awesome stylists. Will take care of you like they take care of me. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, no appointment necessary. Get to a local Lady Jane's near you. Again, walk in anytime, no appointment necessary. Precision haircuts, hot lather neck shaves. They do it all. They're fantastic. They'll treat you right. And as always, remember, it's Lady Jane's, and it's wicked awesome.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Jeff Iafrate here. Let me tell you about our friends at OddsTrader, because, guys, oddstrader.com is the #1 site for all your game day bets. I'm a simple man. I like it simple. I go on oddstrader.com. I see all the sports books. I see all the odds in front of me. I don't have to go on 15 different apps on my phone. It's convenient. They got play-by-play updates, live scores, and the best price from every sports book. Please go to oddstrader.com right now for your best bet.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. 9:26. Tuesday morning, joined by Flannel. Sam Flannel, good morning, buddy.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm good. So your commitment to rocking a flannel every day, is that a religious thing? Is that a household trend? I'm just asking. I'm curious.
The legend killer.
You never are seen in public without it.
I mean, you can see me in public without it, but as far as Woodward sports events like at La Chiche and right here, I always wear a flannel. It just kind of started as a thing where we wanted to have a consecutive day count, and I'm trying to get to 365. I am now at 124.
Don't lie, Sam. You shower in that flannel, don't you? And you sleep in it.
And you have sex in it, don't you?
Hey, I neither confirm nor deny.
All right, well, flannel.
I can see him with the sleeveless flannel.
Flannel. Well, I have to ask. Okay, I have to ask. Your thoughts on the Jim Harbaugh announcement over the weekend, announcing Cade McNamara and J.J. McCarthy, both the starters, going into the first 2 games of the year. Cade starting week 1 against Colorado State. J.J. starting against Hawaii.
This is very, very interesting because on one hand, I just want Jim Harbaugh to make a decision, but on the other hand, there is only one decision that I would actually be okay with, and that is J.J. McCarthy. What this tells me is a lot of the reports coming out that Cade McNamara is above J.J. McCarthy, that the ball never touches the ground, that he just runs the offense so efficiently is, I wouldn't say complete propaganda, but overblown for sure. If Jim Harbaugh really believed in Cade McNamara after naming him the captain, he would just name him the starter. That just tells me that J.J. McCarthy is being set up to just baptize Hawaii with like 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, and then use that as the pretense to make J.J. McCarthy the permanent starter moving forward. And for the record, I think that is the right move. The way he's going about it, I find it to be a little bit sketch. I just wish he would name JJ the starter. But on one hand, there's definitely part of me that likes to see a lot of these Cade McNamara fans or these Michigan fans that just like want to prop up Cade McNamara just have to eat a little bit of crow. And
have you seen what they look like and how they sound or no?
Oh, yes.
Are you sure?
I've seen a few.
I mean, this is Michigan football Twitter right now with Cade McNamara.
Cade McNamara is a big-time winning championship quarterback. He's the first quarterback to beat Ohio State in 10 years.
Oh, and I've seen...
I like Michigan.
Oh, and
I know.
The other one I've been hearing a lot, too, when the whole Cade McNamara captain announcement was made, you got to trust the coaches. And now that Jim Harbaugh made this announcement, they're all that trust the coaches stuff has kind of gone out the window.
Trust the coaches. Oh, Flannel, that is such an excellent point. Trust the coaches. Adham, you think if the coaches didn't see Cade and JJ every day, they would have made the right decision?
Oh, that's been everywhere, and that's the thing that is making me chuckle the most. So, like I said, on one hand, the fact that Jim Harbaugh is being a little bit indecisive is a little bit troubling, but unlike a lot of Michigan fans, I'm not in the make a decision camp. I'm in the start J.J. McCarthy no matter what camp. So I'm not even that mad.
Sam, I do want to ask you, because listen, you'll tell it like it is. Do you think there's a chance, and I'm just putting this out there, that if Cade starts or wins the job, do you think there's still going to be both quarterbacks being played?
I think I do.
Even if he names Cade the starter, do you think he still utilizes both quarterbacks? I don't think it's a good idea, but can you see it happening?
I could see it happening. I think that could be Jim Harbaugh's way of preventing a J.J. McCarthy from transferring, because I think J.J. McCarthy, if he's not named the starter by Iowa, should get the hell out of there right now. And I'm a Michigan fan. I would hate to see that happen, because here's the thing. This idea that Michigan just gets a bunch of 5-star quarterbacks and they're not as talented as you think, that's actually mythology. They've only had 3 since they started giving star rankings. There's Chad Henne, who's one of the best quarterbacks in school history, Ryan Mallett, who had to transfer because Rich Rodriguez was coming in and that didn't fit his skill set, and now J.J. McCarthy. You can't waste that. That would be an absolute tragedy to let him go and not even let him see the field as a starter. So I just wanted to clear all that up too, because you hear people saying like, what about Dylan McCaffrey? What about Joe Milton? What about Shane Morris? They weren't 5 stars. I understand that they were pretty highly touted. They were all 4 stars, but they're not 5 stars, and they obviously weren't developed correctly. And a couple of them, Dylan McCaffrey and Shane Morris, never even really got a chance.
Shane Morris washed out so quickly at Michigan. It was pathetic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dylan McCaffrey, that was just a long shot.
Joe Milton, I was over here like, wow.
They called Joe Milton the next Cam Newton. Jesus.
Yeah.
Anyways, look. I think it's the right decision. Never in my mind did it ever cross he would pull that move where it was Cade week 1, JJ week 2. What he's really doing is he's sending Cade out there and JJ against scrubs.
Yes.
They're both going to play well. And I think what's going to end up happening is if JJ doesn't play well, he can go back and point to week 1 and say, see, I told you guys.
Yeah.
Or Cade plays well, but JJ plays very well, or just well. And that's enough for him to get the job and say, you know what? We're still going to stick with both of these guys. If I ever need Cade, I can trust him. But right now, we're confident in J.J. McCarthy as a quarterback.
And that's a tough decision to. I'm not saying for us it's easy, but for Jim, think about that. Like Cade's teammates voted him a captain, and now he may be the backup quarterback. Like it's and I get, listen, for all the reasons we talk about all the time, Sam, especially off the air. Like we're on the same page. But think about that for a second. A guy who's been in the media, Cade's gotten better. You see the rapport, the chemistry he has with his teammates. He's been working his ass off in the offseason. Guys, Mozzie Smith came out and said, man, have you seen Cade McNamara? He looks better. Named the captain. And he may not start.
Well, I hope he's gotten better, because he's got a lot to improve on from last year. Those 4 wins where he didn't complete 10 passes, 5 where he didn't throw a touchdown pass, and 9 where he threw for less than 200 yards, and 10 where the defense gave up less than 20 points. And in those 2 wins that they had where the defense gave up more than 20 points, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Defense was 8th in the nation in points allowed per game. And rushing and the running, they were 1st in the Big Ten in rushing yards per game. So that's a lot to unpack, I'm sure, for all the people who want to give lazy arguments. But chew on that, eat your crow, and that's all I got to say about that.
One thing that frustrates me, Sam, is when people say, because it's a fact, but context matters. We always say that on the morning show. When you look at Cade, yes, he beat Ohio State, but to say he beat Ohio State is where you lose me. It was solely Cade that beat Ohio State. Like we're just going to disregard Aidan, Ajabo, Hassan Haskins, Blake Corum. We're just going to discredit that offensive line, that defensive line. That's what frustrates me, Sam, is when you say Cade beat Ohio State, not Michigan beat Ohio State with that entire team.
Cade allowed Ohio State to stay in that game early
Yes, he did.
I was going to say
Michigan
that.
came out and scored and played really good defense, forced a turnover, had a red zone opportunity because of the defense, and he threw a red zone interception.
And knowing what we know now, if Cade doesn't throw that red zone interception, I think that game is over at halftime, because Michigan was a dominant team. They controlled the line of scrimmage, and you're right. The only thing that kept Ohio State in the game was the quarterback that supposedly doesn't turn the ball over. Because we all know J.J. McCarthy's going to come in and be a turnover machine. And Cade McNamara just takes such good care of the football, even though in the last 3 games of the season against Ohio State, Iowa, and Georgia, 1 touchdown, 4 picks. Man, that guy really takes care of the ball. Stop it with that nonsense.
I love it, man. I really do. And I agree with you. And I think, and I'm seeing, I just got intrigued because I wanted to look up. A.J. Parker was just cut by the Lions. Lions are shaving some guys, man. They really are. But back on this topic, I'm curious because if you look at it, what are they favored by over Colorado State by what, 3 touchdowns probably?
I think 4.
4 touchdowns. And then you have Hawaii, who you're probably going to win 55-0.
Yes.
Like, that's what I'm intrigued by because what if both quarterbacks win dominantly and play well? That's a tough decision. Not for us, but for Jim Harbaugh.
That is very possible, honestly, because they're going to win both games by at least 30 points. Let's not get it twisted. And both quarterbacks are going to, at the very least, play efficiently. I think, though, that I think it should be JJ no matter what, but I think you're going to see things from JJ against Hawaii because Hawaii is so bad that you will never see from Cade, that you haven't seen from Michigan quarterbacks ever with a combination of throwing and running ability. And that, I think, is going to at least give the fans, a lot of the fans who are sort of, trust the coach no matter what, put in Cade. I think that's going to at least give the fans a taste of what they actually have in J.J. McCarthy. And I believe after the Hawaii game, this is just my opinion, that a lot of the public sentiment in favor of Cade is going to go to J.J. because the thing that Michigan also loves is sort of and I think that it's unfair, sort of the shiny new toy. That's kind of what Michigan fans get accused of falling in love with. But I think they're going to fall in love with J.J. McCarthy, as they should.
This is not the Drew Henson, Tom Brady situation. I'm so tired of that example. It's not even close. But regardless, we are going to move on. Flannel, well done. Thank you so much for coming on this morning. I'm excited. College football. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I'm excited, man. I really am. I missed football. It's about damn time. We got Sean Murphy coming up in just a few minutes. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at Cintron.
Yes, because, guys, listen, if anybody needs to tell you about Cintron and how delicious it is, it's me. Because I drink Cintron here at the network all the time, and I'm hooked on it. Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings. They now have the great tasting cranberry, which is one of my personal favorite, the classic or the sugar-free, all in one pack. Pre-order your Cintron 6-pack sampler box today at cintronworld.com/Red Wings. Get energized with Cintron, guys. Let's go Red Wings.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Open all summer long up until Labor Day weekend. Get to downtown Detroit for the Monroe Street Midway, brought to you, of course, by our good friends over at Bedrock Detroit. Basketball, roller skating, live events, food trucks, music, and much, much more. Free Wi-Fi, so you can work from the park. It's a great atmosphere. The summer is better at the Monroe Street Midway. Make sure you get down there before it wraps up. We are back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Sean Murphy, the devil of the Woodward Sports Network, is now joining us. Sean, good morning, buddy. Aw, Sean. God damn it, Sean. It's okay. It's okay.
We are going to get into this Rico Hines
okay.
footage.
I'm going to give him hell in just about a minute. I see how it is.
Lions making some cuts, though. A.J. Parker, Anthony Pittman, both released.
A.J. Parker got cut?
Yes, he did. He was waived. That means Chase Lucas is making an impression.
He should.
Yeah, and I like Chase Lucas a lot. Another guy that, Brad took him in the 7th round?
I believe Chase Lucas was
fifth?
Chase Lucas was the 5th round pick, I believe, along with James Mitchell.
I gotta double check.
7th round, I believe, was the what's his name? The end/outside linebacker, Houston.
Chase Lucas was a 7th round pick.
No way.
He was taken 237th, man.
I mean, he's made a hell of an impression. So
yes,
I have nothing but compliments for him. Anybody else get waived? Cut?
No, as of right
Jerry
now,
Jacobs still on the team?
He is on the PUP list, I think.
That's true.
So he's another guy that will be out for some time. But really, this just proves to me, Malcolm Rodriguez took Jarrad Davis' spot. Chase Lucas took AJ Parker's spot. Like, these are Brad Holmes draft picks. And I got to say, man, I mean, and a great point by Todd as well. Chase Lucas is 25. Yeah, he has the most, I guess, experience in terms of being ready to play. So keep it up with these Lions. They got to get this roster down to 53 by the end of the day. So we'll see. More cuts are definitely coming.
I believe it's 4 p.m. today.
4 p.m. So, yeah. James Mitchell was our 5th round pick.
Thank you.
That's the tight end.
So you mentioned Brad Holmes guys, right?
Yeah.
What can you take away from last season? If you look at the box score, in most games, Brad Holmes players on the field, getting snaps, making impact, whether it was good or not. I mean, the reality is, the guy's got an eye for talent.
He does.
To have a 7th round pick be a part of your secondary that features probably 3 guarantees, maybe even 4. That's quite impressive, especially with AJ Parker, who actually was one of the, I would say, quote-unquote, standouts or nice surprises down the stretch. He put in a few good performances. So it's good to see. It's good to see you have now a 7th-round pick in Lucas, a 6th-round pick in Malcolm Rodriguez that are going to be playing significant snaps, and it looks like Malcolm may be a starting linebacker sooner than later, along with Alex Anzalone.
Can you remember a time, and listen, in my lifetime I can't, but at least getting this much value, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round of the NFL draft, especially Brad Holmes doing this? Like, and we talk about this all the time, like, we have never seen a general manager operate like this, to find talent like this, because that was always the Lions' problem in the past. You can't find talent past, there's always the second round curse, which isn't, I don't think, over yet. We have to see with Levi and Josh Pascal. But to find guys in the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th round, Adam, who could play immediately and contribute, sounds like a familiar organization to me. That sounds like something in L.A. that Brad Holmes came from that didn't have any first-round picks. So I love what Brad Holmes is doing.
Love what he's doing. I love the message it's sending to the team as well. I'm in a good place right now with the Lions. I really am. It's probably one of the better spots they've put me in, not only since we've been here at the Woodward Sports Network, but just in my life.
Mm-hmm.
In my lifetime, this is probably one of the better scenarios. And I think one of the things we have to understand going into the season, this was a 3-win football team last year.
It was.
So I think rushing to the division is a bit far-fetched for me because you have question marks. You don't question division contenders, correct? You know what they have. You know what you have in them. You know what you should see on a week-to-week basis. With the Lions, as much as there is optimism, and I do believe it's rightly so, and they will probably improve a lot and surprise a lot of teams.
Yeah.
I don't think they're division contenders yet, which is what next season is for. And that's why if Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell can put together this season a 7, dare I say, 8-win ball club, and not only are you expecting to contend for the division next year, you are actually on the correct path of building a consistent winning football team.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are there the cases where you have a Sean McVay walk in and boom, overnight you go from losers to winners? Sure. We all have to remember how bad the situation was when Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes walked in. It was a Matt Patricia, Bob Quinn left scenario. It wasn't pretty at all. Brad Holmes addressed the salary cap. He fixed the roster. He cut all the garbage, and he brought in a hell of a lot of talent, in my opinion. Improvement. Only his second off season. After the third, we're going to be having a very different conversation. And I'm for it. And that's where my optimism stems from. It stems from the idea that this team does have a future.
Mm-hmm.
And that they have people in charge that have a direction. The Red Wings have been losing for how long, Jeff? Under Steve Yzerman?
A couple years. It's been a while.
Do they have a direction?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Makes you sleep at night a little better, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Even if they lose.
I sleep great. Especially with Troy Weaver.
Troy Weaver's got a plan, doesn't he?
Oh,
so even if you win 23 games last year,
you see
there's direction. You can see it.
And then there's the Tigers.
We don't want to talk about that. You
They
see where
keep
I'm
me
getting
up
at, though?
night. Yeah, no, I see it.
And I believe the Lions are much more close to the Pistons and the Red Wings in that category in terms of direction and clarity than they are to the Tigers. So we're not even going to compare them to that.
Yeah, they're on an island.
The Tigers are basically right now the 2000s Detroit Lions. The Matt Millen, 0-16, that's what they are. It's pathetic. Having said that, that's where the optimism stems from. And it should be that way. And you should expect them to contend for the division next year. And if they don't, you ask questions. Because last I checked, it's a win-lose business. You want to keep your job? You want to show improvement? You got to win. And there are the outliers, like a Zach Taylor. But what is Zach Taylor? Much more different, much different than Dan Campbell. Offensive-minded.
And he found his franchise
coach.
quarterback as well.
Came in from a Marvin Lewis situation. Everybody knew they were going to suck year one.
Right.
So you wrote that off just like you all write off Dan Campbell's year one. Well, year two, Joe Burrow was playing really damn well.
He was.
And then he went hurt. He went and got hurt. And they lost the majority of their games. Drafted Jamar Chase. Granted, the Super Bowl thing is an anomaly, but what'd they do in year three? They contended and they won the division.
Won the division.
It's not far away, Detroit. It really isn't. Get it together. I think they can.
Yeah, me too. I think Brad Holmes, I do. This is the thing I got to figure out. It's Dan Campbell, and I love Dan, but I know Brad Holmes will be here when this team wins. They're gonna win a playoff game, and I think in the next 2 to 3 years, I really do. And I think Jared Goff will be here when they do. And call it a hot take, unless you bring in a guy like Joe Burrow who can win a playoff game and take this team to the Super Bowl like Joe Burrow did with the Bengals. I think Jared Goff is going to be that guy. He's surrounded with talent. I think he's good enough to at least get a playoff win, but we'll see. We'll see.
All right. Well, whenever Sean Murphy decides to get his shit together. Good morning, Sean. Jackass. How are you, buddy?
I'm here.
I know you're here.
I'm doing great.
What are
doing
you
great.
doing?
Good
Taking a
morning,
shit?
guys. So sorry for the technical difficulties. We are here. It's good to see you. Adam, you look so beautiful this morning.
Yeah, I wish I could say the same about you, you jackass.
It's
Sean!
good to see you too, Jeff.
What up, baby?
Oh my
Oh,
gosh,
God.
Jeff, my guy. It's good to see you, man. Super proud of you. Super
Sean, you
happy
put me
for
in a
you.
tough
Super glad you're
position. You
back.
got 3 minutes. You got
Appreciate
3
you, brother.
minutes. So Rico drops the videos. Give me your recap. How does Sadiq Bey look? How'd Cade look? How'd the team look? Isaiah Stewart looking like that 3-point shot is legit. Jaden Ivey apparently is a bust
Hey,
according to Pistons Twitter.
Kevin Knox looking like
KD.
Kevin Durant. You know, like bring it all to me, Sean.
Dude, okay, so first of all, people don't understand how to consume pro-am videos or pro-run videos. People don't understand that these are done because this is called practice. This is scrimmage. This is runs and opportunities for guys to work and develop on their game. For a guy like Jaden Ivey, it's one of his first times going against actual pro bigs. So for him to get blocked in the lane is probably something that you would expect for him to have happen. It's a welcome to the NBA moment for Jaden Ivey. So anyone saying that he looked rough or taking any takeaways, like we saw someone on Twitter say, after watching that Rico Hines clip, I can say certainly the Pistons will win under 25 games. It's like, how do you get that conclusion when it's not even the entire roster on the court together. That just doesn't make sense. So that's the thing. You're not even getting actual basketball of the team together. There's just nothing to take away. The only thing you can really take away is like, all right, Isaiah Stewart, his jump shot still looks insanely nice. Sadiq Bey, he's got a deep bag. He can score the basketball. But otherwise, like everything else, there's really nothing much you can take away other than the fact that they're in the lab together, they're getting reps, and they're working on their game.
That's it, Sean. And I agree with you. I think people who watch that tape and say, dang, Jaden Ivey was struggling, or, so-and-so, whatever it is, that's tough for me. To look at a Pro-Am game and look at guys and again, I'm going to repeat it. Rico Hines, before the run started, said, guys, if you see an open layup, let them have it. Like, no one's playing defense. We're just here to get better. And I'm glad you're on, Sean, because you got to bring the realism for us, for the audience, for Pistons fans, because people who change their opinion or outlook on the season simply because of a Pro-Am game. And speak easy. Here we go in the chat. He looked rough in the beginning. Easy. I love you. I really do.
It was 20 seconds! Brother,
tell him, Sean.
You're reacting off of 2 clips, and you're making an entire judgment. That's the exact problem right there. You're making a basement off of 2 edited clips from a segment of a pro run that we saw maybe 30 seconds of Jaden Ivey's involvement. Is that fair to say? About 30 seconds?
Yeah, I mean, it's fair to say a rookie. In his really probably first big-time Pro-Am game, he struggled a little bit. I mean...
My bad. 45 seconds. 45 seconds. You're right. Bust. But never mind.
Most people don't last 45 seconds, Sean, so that's a hell of a job. All right. Well, look, Sean, I appreciate it, buddy. We got to get you on soon.
Yeah.
Let's get you maybe back on Thursday or Monday of next week, all right? Let's figure something out. Definitely want to have you on more often. Appreciate you coming on. Do me a favor. Don't take a shit before you're scheduled to be on the show, all right?
Listen, it was technical difficulties. I'm really sorry.
Technical difficulties. Whatever. Plumbing difficulties. Same stuff, dude.
You're the man, Sean.
I love you, Sean.
Guys, check out From Half Court, man.
Check out From Half Court. Sean Murphy does a hell of a job. Oh, boy. All right, when we get back, mailbag time. Get your questions in the chat. We will answer them all, of course. But before we do, Jeff, the best defense on and off the court.
Listen, guys, we talk about defense. We're talking about defense. Not practice. We're talking about defense. And Guardian Alarm, they get it. Summertime is almost over, and that means you're still spending time outside. Let Guardian Alarm give you peace of mind while you're enjoying it. You're enjoying the sunshine. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT today, and you could rest easy knowing you have 24/7 protection. That's 1-800-STAY-OUT. Let them know your friends at Woodward Sports sent you.
Get away, stay out.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
And we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Mailbag time. Get your questions in the chat from myself and Jeff. Jeff, we'll start with Spartan fan. Who is the Lions' best option as a backup outside of the organization?
Honestly, it depends. I would say Mason Rudolph, but I don't know. I'm not giving up anything for him. So if they cut him, that's your guy. But besides that, no one, really. I mean, the Carson Strong thing I mentioned, you take a swing on him, but is he your backup? No. David Blau, is he your backup? Who cares? I would say Mason Rudolph if he's cut, but I'm not giving up
100%.
picks for him. No way in hell.
I like it. Jesse Adams says, Adam, are you going to eat crow when Peyton Thorne is better than JJ or Cade this year? Jesse, just FYI, by the way. I like you, Jesse. I actually think Peyton Thorne's better than Cade McNamara. And I said this last year. So that's not new news.
Right.
JJ McCarthy is significantly better than both and has significantly better upside. So that's not a conversation. Come on. Adam, who smells better next to you, Terry or Jeff? 100% Jeff. Not even close. Not even close. You guys don't even know what Terry does on the weekend sometimes.
Oh, my God, Terry.
Which quarterback situation has been handled worse, Jim Harbaugh or Brian Kelly? I would actually say Brian Kelly out at LSU. I think Harbaugh, you kind of expected this, right? And I'm very cutthroat. I would have just made the decision. I have to respect that he is a team captain. So I think Harbaugh, as of right now, I can live with it. It really just depends on the decision. The decision for me is the biggest thing. All right, what else do we have here? Colin Kaepernick? No. 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 No.
Even though, listen, I agree.
No. No.
No,
No, Jeff.
This is what I agree
No,
on.
Jeff.
See, two things can be true.
No.
I'm pulling a Neil Rule. I'm in his seat. I'm pulling a Neil Rule. Two things can be true.
No.
Colin
It can be
Kaepernick
true
is better than
all
David
the way.
Blau.
No.
But it doesn't mean you bring him in.
No.
All right? That's how I feel about it.
No.
Hey,
He's
Jeff,
better
what
than
about
both of these
Garoppolo?
quarterbacks, but you
No.
don't bring him in. Because you don't need a quarter. Why do
No.
you need a backup?
No.
What's the point?
No.
Wait,
saying
did you just
no.
say why we need
Do
a
you think
backup?
Michigan can go back to the college football playoff again this year, asks Matthew. I do. I actually think they're honestly capable of running the table up until Ohio State. And if your only loss is to an undefeated Ohio State Big Ten champion, you might be able to sneak in depending on how everyone else does. So even if you run the table and lose at the end of the year, there's a chance. There is a chance. Anyway, the two... I kind of just hinted at that. Anyway, two Big Ten teams make the playoff this year, yeah. If Ohio State and Michigan run the table.
Right.
And then one of them loses to the eventual Big Ten champion. All right, what other questions do we have?
I see this one. Any word, Jeff, any word on the role for the Pistons expect out of Nerlens Noel? To me, seems like an underrated big who plays good defense, rebounds, and is above average lob threat. Nice mentor for Bags Duren. My guy, you just nailed it. That's what I think his role is going to be this year. I call it the bridge for Duren, essentially, because if I think he'll be ready right away, but you have Nerlens Noel there this year. Then you have a team option, you can get rid of him. But I do agree with you. I think he's a bridge for Duren and another guy you can utilize, a veteran. Dwayne Casey likes his veterans. You do need some of those guys. So that's what I think his role will be this year. Towards the end of the season, you may not see him.
So College Game Day officially will be on the Woodward Sports Network on Saturdays. Myself and Jeff will be hosting it. What I will say as of right now, it'll either be 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. We'll have an announcement officially tomorrow. We're finalizing a few details, logistics, who's going to be in the booth, etc. But really excited for college football Saturday. And, of course, this upcoming Saturday, we'll get to recap the Michigan State game, preview the Michigan game. A lot of good stuff coming up. I'm so excited.
Oregon, Georgia, Notre Dame, Ohio State.
Absolutely, Fish. All right, let's wrap up the show. What other questions do we have? What has Goff done to make you have so much confidence in him? Well, Hollywood, if I may. Not much. Outside of the fact that the team around him is better and that he played significantly better with Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell in charge last year down the stretch. And I believe that is more of Jared Goff than what you saw early on in the year. And going into this season, I expect him to be average, and at times below average, and at times above average. And that's what I expect from Jared Goff. And that is enough for me. If the head coach is competent enough, that's enough for me to win 6, 7, 8 games in the NFL.
That's it. It's been
I'm not
done.
asking for much.
Yeah.
So my confidence is that I'm not asking him to go win the division, throw for 4,700 yards. He'll throw for 4,000, 4,100 at the most, which isn't a lot per game, to be honest with you. 26, 27 touchdowns on a good year. Anywhere from 9 on a really good year to 13 interceptions probably, which is what he usually does.
Yeah, Sean McVay kicked him out of town. They won 10 games. But good coaching. That's what matters. If Jared Goff has good coaching and a good roster, it's been done. I mean, it's proven he can win games. So.
Oh no, Jesse! Don't tell me I missed it. Adam, did you see or hear your boy Justin go on an epic rant about Don Thomas and Big Ten football Twitter space last night? It was epic and funny, dude. How do I miss this? Are you serious? God damn it!
Were you on the Twitters last night?
God damn it! No, I was not.
Well,
I was working. God damn it! Oh man! All right, Jeff. Last question: would you give Julio Rodriguez $500 million playing in a Seattle market? A rookie.
Jesus Christ. No.
He leaves.
Get him
Second that contract service time is up, he leaves.
Yeah, absolutely. I know some people are still talking about Carson Strong, and guys, despite the reports, I know he struggled in Philly with the playbook. Backups, we got to stop having this conversation. So, Lions, they're reportedly looking for somebody to fill that backup role. They'll do just that. I'm not too worried about it. Until then, they'll make a decision. I don't care who they bring in, to be honest with you.
All right, let's see. Last question before we head out of here. We already answered which quarterback outside of the team we would pursue. Any other thing else? The Jaden Ivey stuff. Guys, stop it. Stop it. 20 seconds of film. Appreciate all of you. Thank you for joining us on the morning. Jeff, so good to have you back.
Always.
We're out of here. You have a great rest of your day. Fish, you know what to do. Go to hell. Westfall, you too for showing up late. Everybody, have a fantastic day. Jeff, you're awesome as always. We'll see you tomorrow. Tune into Big D Energy at 11 o'clock.
See ya.
Enjoy the Premier League today.